I'd like to give an example of how to heal energy from the living to the living. I was woken up one night by 3 loud gunshots, and they were really loud. Boom, boom, boom. And I sat up in my bed, and, I just waited because I was waiting to hear sirens. I was waiting to hear people outside of my window, screaming or something. I just waited to hear, what's the information that's happening? But nothing happened. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and I realized, and I look into the corner of my room, and there's a man standing there. It was so loud that I thought that it was outside of my home, but in reality, it wasn't. It was something that came in, and I call these SOSs. If you look at my website, you'll learn that I get these little imprints of emotional energy that is being put out by the living. And I saw this tall man standing in the corner of my room with 3 gunshot wounds. So that was his form, and he hadn't passed. He was actually alive. So quickly I look at him and I'm like, oh man, got it. What is it that you have to say? And then he went from standing and he quickly showed me where he is in this moment. And he was in a hospital bed, surrounded by his family. He had his loving wife there. He had a teenage son. He had a younger daughter, probably about around the age of 8. Then he had another son who was about the age of 6. And they're all standing around him. And his body was about to pass. And I asked him, what is the information that you want? And he says, I need my family to know that I'm going to be okay. Because the family was panicking, they didn't want the husband, the father to pass, right? But he was about to pass. So with his permission, I quickly looked in on the energetic system of his family, and I tried to create an echo of emotion that he was bringing in. And he was a loving, loving father, So I tried to create this echo of emotion, and I watched that echo of emotion that I was receiving from him go through my psychic mind of understanding and then into the family. And in that moment, no matter how hard that passing is, because it was hard, it was not easy, but in that moment, the wife, she reaches out with her left hand and she holds his and she says, it's okay. If you need to pass, you can pass. And he took a breath, and then he was gone. But his body was there. His spirit went somewhere else. And the extreme amount of gratitude in that moment that I felt for being able to hold the space and watch that. Now, for the wife and for the children, they may not have an understanding of what happened in that moment, but in that moment, Dad came through. In the moment he came through. Now, they could feel an energetic shift because Dad was there. They may not understand it, but they could feel it. And I was given the opportunity to watch and to witness and to help move that healing information forward.